Okay, good afternoon. Well, good evening. Good evening, and welcome to Amsterdam Talk episode season 2, episode 21. I believe 21. And tonight I bring you Robert from Your Electric Plug. You
How
know,
we doing?
how you doing, brother?
I'm
Nice to
doing
have you
awesome.
here.
Thank you for having me.
Before we get started, tell us about yourself.
I decided to go vegan in November 2017 after hearing about a close friend from high school having a major stroke.
Okay.
At the time, my youngest son was only 5 years old. I'm the dad of five. So my older kids, they had me, they full version of dad, you know what I mean? But I'm looking at a situation with my 5 year old and a close friend of mine, close in age, close in same weight and everything at the time. That hit home. So, I started immediately Googling, ways to remove plaque from the arteries, etc. Because 10 years prior to that, I had been diagnosed with high cholesterol. My cholesterol was like 299, and the doctor said, "Hey, you need to go on Lipitor, or you need to do exercise, change your diet, all this kind of stuff." So, me, I'm like, I decided as a youngster, I'm not taking any kind of medication that I have to be on for the rest of my life. I
Right.
saw my grandparents with stacks of meds on the console TV, the big TV that
Hmm.
we all familiar with, old school.
Yes.
And I decided I didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? So when I was facing a health, really a life or death situation, that I looked at it, I decided I needed to make a change. And as I was doing my googling and my research, Doctor Google, I come across Doctor Sebi. And I saw him listed as the man that cured all diseases, and that piqued my interest. So I started digging into YouTube and learning everything I could about him, and watching his speeches and all that kind of stuff on YouTube, and then joining some groups and whatnot, and educating myself on the lifestyle, and then made some changes. I even did a video that you can watch on my YouTube channel that tells the story of how I lost the weight, and basically the steps that I took to lose the weight. And that's ultimately what made me change my lifestyle. I went from 235 pounds to right now I'm sitting at 170 pounds.
Okay.
But I lost over 50 pounds in less than 4 months
Mm.
without any exercise at all. And that's actually the name of the video I was speaking of.
Okay. Without any exercising, well, got the first question. Why did you become vegan? Because it was a tragedy story that happened to your friend. Sorry for your loss.
Yeah,
So,
he made it, but he's still dealing with the whole paralysis on the right side of his body. And
mm,
I'm not sure if you dealt with anyone that had a stroke before,
yes,
but
I have.
there's that disconnect between your mental and your speech capabilities, and he still experiences that to this day as well. And that's 4 years later, almost 5 years. So
Yeah, I've definitely, encountered people who have strokes, and I understand, as far as with the speech and also the physical of learning how to walk and do things again. I've
right,
seen all that. So that was the impact on your life
correct,
that changed things for you. So,
absolutely.
uh, I guess the question would be, we see how you got there. So when you first got there, was it hard? Was it hard to change your lifestyle from? I don't know what you were eating prior,
Right.
but it was like, was it hard?
So I'm a cut from a different cloth than most people. So when I got started, I was at about 225 pounds. Right, my
Okay.
heaviest was 235 was my absolute heaviest. Um, and I'm one of those people, man, that once I make a decision, it's done. And that was the biggest piece for me. And in the video, I speak on the why, right?
Okay.
Because I realized something, and I'm gonna share this with you, and I share this with everyone I talk to. As an adult, um, when's the last time you made a decision on something and you failed? And
Right.
that's the part, because we'll struggle and say, "Oh, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. I know I should. I know I should." Right? But
Mhm.
until you make that decision, you're not going to make the change. Right?
Right.
So the thing that I found that made it different, because I had been there before. I had been there to the whole, hey, I want to make a change. I think I should. I know I should. Because guess what? 10, 20 years prior to that, I had stopped eating beef. So I
Mhm.
haven't eaten, I've been vegan, well, Sebian, since January of 2018. I hadn't eaten beef since the 90s, because I already knew that it was the wrong thing to do. I already knew those were leading to health problems, but I never had something that mattered enough for me to make the decision. And once my own mortality like hit me in the face, like through my friend's experience, that was enough for me to decide that, hey, I looked at my son. I said, that's not fair. That's not the right thing to do. So he became my why. And that's what motivated me to change. Because like I said, my older kids had the full version of dad, being able to help them on the bicycle, throw the football with them. But, if I had a stroke, I mean, I would not be able to go to the park with my son and throw the football with him and stuff like that, like we do, and go to play basketball on the weekends. We couldn't do that if I had a stroke or if I wasn't here. So he became the why, and he became enough motivation for me to make a decision. And then the rest was easy. So no, it wasn't hard because I had motivation. And I forced myself to relearn food. Once I heard the stuff that Dr. Sebi was saying, it rang true. It made sense to me. So I looked at food differently. The stuff that I was eating, for example, I'm from New Orleans. So, I mean, a shrimp po' boy to me once upon a time would have brought me to my knees. But I went through a series of having what I call my last meals, right? So I went and I had, it's a place in Houston called Sleepy's Po' Boys. Shout out to them if they still, doing their thing. But I went over there and I had me a nice little shrimp po' boy, and I sat there and I looked at it and I'm like, ooh, I'm all ready for it. And I'm telling myself, I'm like, hey man, this is the last shrimp po' boy you ever gonna eat. So enjoy it. So I sat there, I dug into it. Fortunately, it was good. Shout out to Sleepy's. And like I said, that was it. I accepted that as the last time I would eat it because I said, this is no longer food. If I eat this, it's going to make me sick. So I can't eat it. So that's how I've literally taken everything. Like once I had my date as far as this is when I'm going to do this here. Because like I said, once I made the decision, I decided that I was going to, I joined a bunch of Sebian groups. And my thing was my drop dead date for going vegan was the Monday after Thanksgiving, 2017, November 27th. You can look it up on the calendar, because like I say, I'm from that NOLA, so I had to have my mama's gumbo one last time for Thanksgiving. I had to have my mama's oyster dressing one last time, and I had to say goodbye because that was the last time I'm gonna have it. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, and that's where we at.
Got you. Now that right there, from you just saying that you from the NOLA, that makes it even different. I mean, difficult because when I look at, not to change subject, when I look at the young brother Zion Williamson down there playing for the Pelicans, how he shot from playing weight of 260, leaving Duke, to now 330 pounds.
It's a food capital, baby. It's where you want to be. I actually live in Houston right now, and I mean, I don't know what you know about Houston, but it's over 3,000 restaurants in Houston. So, I mean, my part of it is I'm a grill guy. I'm a crawfish boiling guy. I know how to do gumbo, the whole 9 yards. If you think about it, New Orleans style, I can cook it. If you think about it, Texas style, I can cook it. And I'm pretty proud of what I do. You know what I'm saying? So it was challenging for me simply because I love to eat. I love to cook. I got my 235. Honestly, I was eating everything. I was drinking everything, but in the lifestyle, guess what? You don't drink. I haven't had a drink since November 2017 either. Don't even drink coffee, because in the lifestyle, you realize that coffee is poison. The reason that you get that energy surge is because your body reacts to that poisoning. That's why you release it in the bathroom, right? And then that energy is actually an adrenaline surge because your body is in fight or flight mode. It's like, oh my God, I've been poisoned. Let's get this out of me, right? So you go to the restroom, and then after that, you get that adrenaline surge to try to keep your heart pumping, try to keep you survival. Think about if you walking down a dark alley and you hear a noise or something like that, your heart starts beating. You have that same feeling that you have, when you drink that coffee.
Right.
That's why you have that crash, because once that leaves out of your system, you're left with that drained feeling. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I need some more coffee. So you poison yourself again, so you get that surge of energy again, and then you're back on that whole routine again, and you're killing yourself.
Yeah, I get it, that whole crashing thing, because the young brothers that some of the people I be around, and we do drink, and they'll drink, but then they add these adhesives like the Red Bulls, the Rock
Right.
Stars, and all that shit. And I'm like, nah, yo, I don't need to get pumped up, and then once it
Playing with your
goes
heart,
out, I'm gonna drop straight out. Like,
man.
I don't need that.
You playing with your heart, because here's the other thing, right? When you talking about these young brothers and they sitting back, and then you know the you got folks with lean. You know, I'm on the south, so you got the lean thing going
Yeah,
on, and all of this stuff is relaxing you so much, so much, so much. What you think your heart is doing in that time frame? You know what I mean? You
right,
putting all of this extra stuff on your heart, and you get into this relaxed phase, and then you go drink some energy drinks, and you trying to raise your heartbeat right back up. You know what I mean? And then you hear
right,
these young guys that, hey, why did he just pass? Why does his heart just stop working? Let me do the math. Look at what his past activities were, and you could
right.
probably figure it out. Sometimes our lifestyles are what's killing us. And to be honest with you, like you say, the young cats, I'm surprised that all these years after energy drinks have come on the scene, they haven't regulated it where kids can't buy it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't understand why they let a 12-year-old could go and buy a Red Bull. Why? It's
Right.
not the right thing to do. But you know, we care more about the dollar than we care about the people, and that's what the whole problem is with what we eat.
Mhm.
Because you know they let us believe, hey, milk, it does a body good. Got you, psych.
Mm, mm. Yeah. So
Milk does not do a body good. You know what I mean? Milk is acidic, and it is going to lead to osteoporosis. Go look at the numbers of the countries that consume the most dairy, and you're
right.
going to see the higher instances of osteoporosis. The other part, there's a protein in cheese called casein that is more addictive than morphine. Same
Okay.
type of drug, and it's in cheese. So that's why you can't stop that pizza. That's why you can't stop. That's why the kids want that macaroni and cheese. It's not because it tastes so good. It's that little surge that they get from it.
Okay. So you say, about the countries that drink the most dairy. So what is that leading country that drink the most dairy products?
Milk does a body good. What they teach you since you was a kid, man. Come on, now the United States is one of the leading countries in dairy consumption.
Right.
So
So
I mean, it's one other country that has that same level as we are. Is slipping my mind at the moment, but if you check it out, you'll see that I'm telling you the truth. I wouldn't give you bad information.
I get you, but when you think of milk, like you think of the levels and the types of milk. Is one better than the other? Like you have the 2%, the 1%, the almond, the all type whole milk. I mean, I know I can't stomach whole milk no more at
So
all.
it's a reason you're not a baby cow. You're not supposed to stomach that stuff.
I
It's
can't.
milk is designed to make a baby cow a big cow.
Okay.
Let's keep it real. It's not designed for us. You say what is my milk of choice? My milk of choice is actually the kind I make myself. I will soak some walnuts, I'll soak some hemp seeds, and some spring water. I may add a little sea salt or a little bit of date syrup or something like that for sweetener if I want to add a little bit. But like Miss Ava Joy say in the comments right now, none of them cows. I'm with you. Nothing from the cows, because that's not for us. Anything that is from an animal is acidic. It is not
Right.
designed for you. You know what I mean? And so I want no parts of it. I don't want anything that that an animal has to give his life for. And that's the funny thing that I share with people also, right? I already shared with you the reason why I did this is a health decision. I wasn't one
Right.
of those people that said, "Oh, the animals, the animals. Oh,
Right.
let's save the animals." That wasn't my motivation. But I will say this: as a result of changing my lifestyle, I changed. And
Right.
so, after I've gone, a year, 2 years, 3 years of not eating animals, I sit there and I'm not going to say I go to the point of feeling bad for what I've done, but it's like, I can't believe that I used to have to kill stuff to live. That don't even make sense. It don't fit right. It just, you got to kill something else to live. Why? I don't think that's what God designed for us. It don't seem like the creator would create the creation to kill creation.
And somebody put in there, what about almond milk?
So some people will choose to make some almond milk. I'll say this: store bought milks, I would stay away from, because they have things in them like that. I don't know what it is. Cellulose, gum, carrageenan, and all these waxes and stuff you can't pronounce. What is all of that stuff, right?
Right.
As far as almonds, I personally don't consume almonds. They're not on the Dr. Sebi nutritional guide because there is trace amounts of cyanide in almonds. So I
Right.
personally don't consume them because if I'm correct, cyanide does not leave your body. So it's something that, over time, accumulation could potentially be bad for you. I'm not sure. I'm not a scientist or a doctor, and I don't want to dig into it. So
Gotcha.
things that I've learned are a risk to me, I prefer not to have it. And so I've switched over to, like I say, walnut milk.
Then why do we have canine teeth to bite in the flesh of the tomato?
Let me ask you this: do you have claws? Can you take down an animal on your own without some kind of man-made weapon? Because that's what people always say. Oh, why do we have canines? They do have certain fruits that are kind of tough, or certain vegetables that if you're going to eat raw, that is a possibility. I'm not the creator. I can't say. But it is something that question always comes up. But like I say, can you, without some type of created weapon, can you take out an animal? No,
Depends on the animal. It really depends.
True that. That's a good one. I'll give you that one. But when you bite into that animal, can you eat it without it killing you?
No.
Right.
No.
So you have to take this dying beast that you managed to kill, right? And you have to, first off, you have to prepare it somehow with something else that you have to create, fire, in order to be able to prepare that animal. And then you got to cook it to a certain temperature that if you don't get it to the right temperature, the stuff that's in it can take you out, right? Because it has, not only do you have the bacteria and whatnot in the animal, sometimes these animals may have parasites or other things in them or other toxins and whatnot, then they can take you out. So it's quite a few different things that people don't really think about. The other part of it is, if that animal doesn't go into refrigeration, what is it going to do automatically?
Spoils.
So what temperature do you tend to keep food at? A certain refrigerated temperature. The food danger zone, I believe, is 41 to 102 degrees, right? So what temperature is your body?
96,
The
98.
food danger zone, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to take that animal that if you don't put it into refrigeration, it's going to decay and it's going to be all bad and everything. You're going to put that into your body at that bad temperature, right? So then it's going to be decaying in your body, and then certain things when you eat it, how you feel? Oh man, my stomach.
I
need to go to the restroom. Then when you go and you come out, something died up in there. Oh man, get the spray. Light a match. Smell like something died in there. No, it died in you, and you just let it out.
Right.
Keep it real.
Yeah,
it died in you. You killed it. You put it in you, and then you let it go. So the other part that people don't think about, right? You got to think of the part of the animals, right? The hormones and whatnot that they operate on, the drugs that they give to the animals, everything. Those things, we absorb them, and we have to deal with the same stuff. I remember, I'm an older guy, so I remember 25 years ago when they were talking about, maybe even longer than that, when they were talking about, hey, let's start putting hormones and whatnot in the food to make them get bigger and all this other kind of stuff, right? They pumping them full, and they were concerned, hey, what would happen? What would happen? So something that they said is a small risk, might have early development of some kids or whatever. So now, of course, you got 12-year-olds that look like they 30. You know what I mean? We got things of that nature going on, but not just that. If they giving growth hormones to the animals, and you consume those animals, you consuming those same growth hormones.
Yep.
You dig what I'm saying? Those same drugs, the same drugs that they're giving to the animals, you're consuming them, and so you become addicted to those drugs through the meat that you consume, and you just don't realize it.
Got you. Because when you just said 25 years ago, that'll put me at the age of 14. And it looks at the wings that my grandmother cooked for us are not the wings that I see today.
Not at all.
So huge.
It's not even the same bird anymore. So it's funny because if you go and you watch some of these documentaries that they have out right now, right? There's one called What the Health, and I encourage everyone to watch What the Health. My sister watched What the Health and became vegan in 24 hours. It didn't last, but 24 hours later, she was a temporary vegan because of some of the stuff that she saw. And it's insane. Like I put it to you like this: they have us conditioned to believe that that chicken is the healthiest thing that we can eat if we're going to eat meat, right? The other white meat, all that kind of stuff, whatever. But chicken is one of the more unhealthy meats because of the amount of antibiotics and steroids and everything else that they put into chicken.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you look at a chicken from, say, 1954, back in the day when your grandparents used to have to go back, wring the chicken's neck and all that kind of stuff, where they were really free range, right? And then you come to today where they're in a little cage with 100 and something other chickens packed in and they shoot them full of hormones. It's not even the same bird. And then to take it one step further, the chicken is a man-made bird. When God said, when God did all of his good work and he made everything he created, there was no chickens around. Chicken got a release date. Somebody made a chicken. They took one animal, a red fowl and some other animal, and put those animals together and they made them a new animal.
Well, that's where the age-old question comes. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Had to be the chicken. Well, actually, would have had to be the egg because they would have probably taken those two animals and mated them and created the egg, and then the chicken would have came from that. You know what I mean? If real talking. And the same thing with the cow. Same thing with all of the food animals. They are not God's creation. Man created them.
Okay, got you. So I seen a question pop up about the CBN diet. Is there like a difference between like being a vegetarian plant-based diet and a CBN diet? Is that
it's a big difference. There's actually a Dr. Sebi nutritional guide. And it actually is a very finite list of the foods that we choose to eat from. You can find it on my website. You can find it on my YouTube channel as well.
What is your website so we can put it up so they can look while we talking?
www.yourelectricplug.com. And I also, if it's okay with you, I'll put my YouTube link in the comments.
That's fine.
Okay, I'll do that right now. Wait, hold up. I think I put that on the wrong side.
I can see it.
Yeah, I put that to the private. I'm gonna put that to the main. Or did that go over?
No, it'll come through. Brother, for real, put that on the screen for me.
Good look. Appreciate that.
All right. So
don't forget to subscribe.
We're not. We there go right there.
Appreciate it.
So,
but just FYI, in addition, I have several different videos with the foods from the nutritional guide, with the Dr. Sebi herb list as far as the herbs that he used in his healings and whatnot. I share videos, I share stories. Like I say, I shared about how I lost the weight. I'm on a liquid fast right now. I'm on day 9 of a liquid fast, 9 or 10, started last Monday. So working on that right now. And so I did a video on a liquid fast as well. Like I say, a few cooking videos, swaps and things where you can find some of the hard to find items, things of that nature.
All right. So back to the diet, we were talking about the diet versus being a vegetarian plant-based. Like, what's like the major differences with it?
Major difference is we try our best to avoid hybrid foods and also starches and of course animal products. So whereas the average person is going to look at produce and say, oh, it's all plants, it's all good. And it's not. A lot of the plants that we consume, for example, carrots or another item that is a man-made item. They took a type of weed and a different type of root and crossed those, and they made the carrot. And the same is the case for things like spinach, asparagus, artichokes, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, you name it. It's a list that people think are good for them. Garlic is not good for you. It's a list of things that people consume every day under the idea of, hey, this is fruit or this is produce, this is vegetables, it's good for me, but it's not necessarily the case. Some of these are robbing minerals from your body.
Okay. So robbing the minerals. So like, can you actually become like vitamin B12 deficient?
So B12 deficiency is a real thing, and there is actually a plant source of B12 that has been discovered not that long ago, and it's called duckweed, also known as water lentils.
Okay.
Uh, so that's something that is completely a vegan source. The concern with that has always been that that's something that's made by bacteria, and is made by animals producing it, and then when the animal passes, and we consume the animal because it's made through that animal's consumption of that bacteria, and by us consuming those, typically fish and whatnot, that's where the B12 comes from. But this plant actually has it in there because it's something that grows freely in like ponds, like they say duckweed. It's literally something that ducks would naturally consume.
Okay. All right. So back to the diet with Dr. Sebi, the diet, like, what are the main things like that we have to have on this diet, like that you can consume just every day? Like, this is what I'm going to eat every day, nonstop.
So two things I'm gonna do. Well, one thing I'm gonna do real quick before I go into that, I'm gonna stop you on something because you say the word diet, and people in this, we don't refer to it as a diet. This is a lifestyle.
I apologize. Lifestyle. I
Because
apologize.
I know no apology, but I just want you to consider when you hear someone speak of a diet, what's the first thing they think of?
We're losing weight. Change.
They think of cheat day. Cheat day is the first thing you think of when you're on a diet. Man, I'm gonna get this on my cheat day. You know what I'm saying?
Cheat days normally the weekends.
Huh?
Cheat days normally the weekends.
Right, but when you cheat, I mean, what you working for when you cheated? You know what I'm saying? Why do work Monday through Friday to give it all back on Saturday and Sunday? It's like spending all your paycheck every week. What you doing that for? Why you not put something up for your future, man? If you planning to cheat, what you get married for? It's one of those kind of things. Why cheat if you're really trying to do it? Change your lifestyle. Don't play a game with yourself. Okay. Because you're gonna go back into the same bad habits that's gonna have you set up to fail in the whole thing. You know what I mean? So as far as that stuff, on a regular basis, you say, what do I eat? I'm actually I'm kind of trending toward a fruit-based diet, to be honest with you. But right now, because in Genesis 1:29, the first things that the Creator told us to consume was fruit, seeded fruit. It's not until we had other problems that he later on decided to allow us to eat other things, but it's not what he wanted for us. It's a difference between what I want you to do and what I'll allow you to do, right? So that being said, my everyday, I consume a lot of chickpeas, a lot of walnuts, different color bell peppers, onions, tomatoes. Squash is almost always on my plate. Things of that nature. In a typical day, I start off with a melon because a melon helps get your body processes going. And there's actually even a certain way that you should eat fruit in order to not cause upset and problems in your body. Because there are different types of fruit, and people don't realize there's 4 different types of fruit. You got melons, you got sweet fruits, you got acid fruits, and subacid fruits. And when you mix those categories, that can cause problems for you. It's recommended to consume a melon on an empty stomach, for example, because with a melon being like 90 to 95% water, most of the digestion actually happens in your mouth. So by the time it hits your stomach, it's ready to get out of you, right? So if you've eaten other foods with your melon or before your melon that need more time to process, then guess what? They're going to leave with the melon, and then you've left yourself in a situation where you're not getting what you could have gotten from those other foods that you've eaten.
Right.
And then the other part of that is once you've eaten a grain or something like that, then you should stop consuming fruits, because once that fruit hits your stomach, it's ready to get out. So that fruit is going to come to that grain, and it's going to get stuck. And it's like, hey, we trying to get out of here, but you block it. And so that's where some of that discomfort comes, and you wind up in that spot again.
Okay. Somebody put up, what about sugar fruits?
The fruits and sugars, if you eat natural God-made fruits, then that's absorbed differently in your body, and that's not going to be any difficulty from you. I eat more fruit now than I've ever eaten in my life, and my sugar is fine.
Okay. All right. So that's what you have. You say you start off with the melon. You start off with the melon in the morning.
When I'm actually chewing food, because right now, like I said, I'm drinking everything. But when I'm actually chewing food, first thing I do is I'll have a melon in the morning, and then maybe an hour or so after I have the melon, I have a nice serving of some berries like blueberries and strawberries, maybe some seeded grapes later on in the day, and then I'm on fruit until dinner time, pretty much. And of course, with it being fruit, it's raw fruit. So I'll eat pears, apples, things of that nature,
Mm-hmm.
avocados. Avocados are actually a fruit people don't realize.
Okay.
Tomatoes as well. And then, like I said, in the evening I have one cooked meal, and that's typically it. But the majority of my daily consumption is fruit.
Got you. Somebody said, what about 100% juice?
100% juice. If it's not from concentrate and it's something that's on my nutritional guide, I will consider it. But the thing that you have to realize is when you are consuming only fruits and vegetables, it's not a whole lot of stuff that you get in your that little fullness from, right? So
Right.
if I'm gonna get them calories, I might as well get some fullness from them too. I would rather take that fruit in a smoothie than just juicing it, because then all of the fiber and everything, what you doing? It throwing it in the trash? Nah,
Right. So
rather
that's a
not
good
do that.
question right there, because you said when you started this lifestyle, you had a 5-year-old,
Yes.
and 5-year-olds children love sugar. So like when you decided to make this lifestyle with him or her, I'm not sure if it was a boy or girl, but you didn't
Boy,
say.
five
Boy,
boys.
oh, you got 5 boys?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, all right. So your son. So when you transferred over to this lifestyle and you removed those things from his life as well.
No, I didn't. So I look at that, and that's a difficult thing, right?
Hmm.
Because I know what is right, but at the same time, so my son's mother and I are divorced.
Okay.
So he's not with me every day. So the way I look at it is, am I to punish him when he comes to spend time with me because I eat differently than his mother does, and I to not allow him things that he's accustomed to because he's with me, and so I decided, some ways I can make some adjustments, and some things I just kind of, I just educate him, and I expect that as he gets older, he will make better decisions. Because like certain things I won't allow him to have. I will not buy him candy.
Okay.
That's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna buy him candy. I'm not gonna have milk in the house. I'm not gonna have hot dogs in the house. It's certain things that I'm not going to give him.
Okay.
And I'm going to give him, when it's snack time, I'm going to present an apple instead of a bag of chips. Things of that nature. Um, I see Tammy saying it's not a punishment, and I agree with you on that one. But it's hard to take a child that's not used to eating some of the things that we eat, like for dinner, for example. Um, the most kid friendly thing that we've prepared, he's not ready for him because his taste buds are not there. And then when he goes home, he's going to eat that hamburger anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
So sometimes, I mean, I do educate him. He does get it. It's funny because so many times he'll sit there and see me eating something, and he'll say, "Daddy, you don't eat this, do you?" And I say, "Nope." And he's like, "This isn't good for me, is it?" And I say, "Nope." I say, "Hopefully one day you'll stop eating those." I say, and I talk to him about it. And so he starts to understand it. So sometimes he'll look at what he's eating and he'll say, "Okay, I'd rather have this." And that's exactly why I don't give him hot dogs anymore, because those are the worst. They say processed meats are worse for you than cigarettes. Get that. Bacon, tilapia, ham, all that's worse than cigarettes. Go smoke a pack instead of going and eat that stuff.
You gonna make me lose viewers. You start talking about bacon on here.
Hey man, hey, it ain't right. And you see in some states they got that the humane thing where bacon is being outlawed in places.
Mm,
I
yeah.
think California is talking about some kind of bacon law.
Mm. Oh man. So your
Yeah.
other kids, they're older. So did they adapt the lifestyle?
So I'm gonna say yes and no. My oldest son is serving us in the United States military. He's stationed in North Dakota. I mean
Okay.
North Carolina right now. I'm sorry. And when he was living with me years ago, when I first started, he was living with me at the time, and he would always look at what I was eating, and he would consume some of the dishes that I would eat, and he noticed that he felt better when he ate what I ate. My second oldest, John the Great. You can follow him on Instagram. He's a up and coming rap artist with Cypress Park. You could catch him on SoundCloud and everything else. He lived with me. He was in high school when the pandemic hit, and once they decided basically he wasn't going to be able to go back to school, he came in and lived with me, and he stayed with me for about 6 or 7 months, and he literally he went into the lifestyle with me, and it changed him so much. I mean, he lost so much weight that he's so happy with the results that he got. It's something that he always wanted to do, was address some of the weight problems that he had in his life, and he's not there anymore. He learned how to eat right, and so he says to this day he takes a little bit of a mix of what I taught him, and then he still will have some of the old stuff, but he knows how to do a little bit better.
Okay.
And the other ones are a little bit younger, and they're not to that point at all.
All right. Well, we've seen the question came with turkey bacon and turkey sausages. So I told you they were coming.
Still animals. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm not going to let an animal give his life for me just to eat something. And something I wanted to mention earlier, like think about a hamburger, right? They say in a pound of ground beef, you got the DNA from 1,000 different cows.
Wow.
So when you look at karma, when you look at, if you believe in stuff like that, you know what I mean? That negative energy, you have all of those animals, their DNA, all of the stuff they've been exposed to, you consuming all of that stuff. You know what I mean? So no, thank you. No to the turkey bacon. I decline. Thank you though.
Okay. So, the one thing also, that's come a lot, where I'm from, I live in Maryland, in Baltimore to be exact. A lot of people basically walk around, they drinking a lot of sea moss.
Okay.
So
no such thing as too much. No such thing as too much.
I know it's not too much, but they say that's like 90% of all the nutrients that you need.
Sea moss and bladderwrack together have all 102 of the minerals that your body needs to function. And sea moss has, I believe, 92 of them.
So can they say you shouldn't take, but the person I got it from is like, don't consume all of this in one day. You shouldn't. Like, is that like something that's wrong if I shouldn't drink the whole thing?
Were there other things that were in the drink?
I think what was in there?
Because
something else in there as well that was telling me not to do the whole thing.
So here's the thing. Some people will recommend that you don't mix different herbs. Okay. Because like there's a long list of herbs that Dr. Sebi uses. You may be able to see the shelves behind me got some jars with some blends that we made, and then some other things up there as well. But each herb can have a different effect on a different person. So it's advised that you consume an herb by itself before you start mixing it with other things. Because say, for example, you combine 4 or 5 different herbs and then you wind up feeling really sleepy, right? You're just going to assume, I'm not going to take those anymore. But which one made you sleepy, right? So you need to consume each one maybe as a tea or capsule it individually, see how it affects your body, and then go from there. Because if you're not fully educated on what the herbs can do, then you can put yourself in bad shape. There are some herbs that are even dangerous if you consume them without the advice of someone that knows what they're doing. Certain herbs, I'm not even going to try to sell to you or offer to you anything, because
what herbs would they be?
One of them that comes off the top of my head is Lily of the Valley. That one can have some bad reactions, and that's the main one that pops into my mind right now as far as a really bad reaction. I know with a thing like bladderwrack, for example, bladderwrack has an extremely high iodine content, which could be good or it can be bad depending on your thyroid situation. So you have to be careful with how much iodine you consume, things of that nature.
Yeah, I remember that about the iodine thing. I remember Pimp C saying that in a song about shrimp eating.
So much shrimp, I had iodine poisoning.
Right. Yeah. you know, from sipping on some syrup.
Oh yeah,
So
no doubt, no doubt. H-Town, baby.
yeah, so I get that. So what would you say for somebody, you know, that was like, okay, they saw this today and they just said, hey, I want to start this lifestyle. Like, you know, how would they get themselves into this lifestyle?
Well, the first thing I would tell them to do is go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, and then watch my video on how I lost over 50 pounds in less than 4 months with zero exercise. Because and now when you know it's the name that I gave it, it kind of turned a few people off because of the no exercise part, and people are like, you know, oh, it's if it's healthy, you got to exercise, which I get it, you know. Electric lifestyle is not only what you eat, it's all about moving your body also, and it's also about what you consuming mentally as well. So that was a turn off for some people. But if you actually give the video a chance, it goes in and I talk about the mental piece of it, right? Because this is a journey, and it's a journey that you going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's you going on this journey, and it's you walking with yourself, because you are the one that's going to benefit from this. You are the one that's going to hold you accountable and the whole
Mhm.
9 yards. You know what I mean? So either you're
Right.
going to do it or you're not going to do it. But you have to understand that this is a journey. This is a process. This is a lifestyle change. This is not something that you're just going to jump in. Ooh, I'm gonna lose some weight right quick. Nah, you're gonna get in this lifestyle. You're gonna freak out off of ooh, it's not enough choices, and you're gonna freak out and you're gonna bail. You know,
Mhm.
if you want to do it, watch my video. Do some of what I'm telling you to do in the video. Watch what the health. You know what I mean? Re-educate your stuff on that thing that you love that you can't live without. Dig into that. You know, some of the stuff that I'm talking about, verify it. Go watch some Dr. Sebi videos, right? The stuff that he talks about, verify it. You know what I mean? Because that's what got me is when he's saying, "Oh, you know, this is something that's bad for you. This is a carrot is man-made. You know, they took this and they took that." I'm on Google. I'm like, damn, he telling the truth. A
Right.
chicken is man-made. You know, I'm on Google. Man, this is true. So the stuff
Mhm.
he's saying, I'm checking it out, and I'm fact checking, and that the stuff I'm finding is correct. And it's other sources out there. It's it's people that even came before Dr. Sebi, Dr. Arnold Ehret,
Okay.
Ehret. He had a book about the mucusless diet years ago, talking about
Mhm.
not eating meat. There are articles from the 1800s talking about fruit diet being the right thing. If you have people that have these horrible health conditions, you know, give them grapes and that'll get them taken care of. You know what I mean? He's controversial because he was healing people. Put it like this: if you are a pharmaceutical company, for example, you are in the business of having customers.
Mhm.
If I'm healing people, I'm knocking your hustle. That's $1 billion industry.
Big pharma.
Big pharma. So and on you know, I'm gonna say this real quick. The I saw a video of Dr. Sebi not long before he passed, and he was talking about, you know, people in his life, right? So a lot of people think big pharma is what got to Dr. Sebi, but that's not at all what it seems that got to him. It was on a much more local level. You know what I mean? It was people that were close to him that he had come up on a way to lower the price of the drugs or the herbs that he sold. Because if you
Right.
go to the Dr. Sebi website, you got herb packages that's $1,500,
Mhm.
$750, and the average person that's dealing with a medical condition is not able to spend $1,500 on a package of herbs that
Right.
they are not even sure if it's going to work,
Right.
right? So Dr. Sebi, he came with a different formula. He's like, man, I got something that's going to be able to save. I'm gonna cure so many more people, because instead of 1,500, I could sell it to you for $50. Who can't afford to spend $50 to save their life,
Right. Right.
right? So people close to him said, man, you gonna charge $50 where we charging 1,500? You knocking our hustle.
Right.
And even though, you know what I'm saying, even though it's a close to you, money is more important to some people.
Well,
So
that's always the
unfortunately,
thing. People closest to you, they always there's normally the ones.
yeah.
You know, just the fact of caring people. Because one of the conversations we've been having before we actually got on here, probably 2 hours ago, with me and Ava and Bill, and we was talking about the promo for this show tonight, and the lady on there was like, you know, certain just lifestyle can cure like certain STDs without even like taking all those meds that you asking for. I mean, that not saying what you asking for, but what they're asking for.
So something else I'm gonna throw at y'all, right? I'm not sure if you're familiar with the series called Hidden Colors.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so something that they talk about in one of the hidden colors is when you go down in DC and you go to the buildings and they talk about, what the buildings are for and all that other type of stuff. And they discuss how the medical industry it knows about all of the power of these herbs, and the drugs that they making are based on the herbs.
Right.
Right. So they taking the plants. They got the research on the plants. They know the plants can heal. So they take the plants and they try to make a man-made version, one, so they could get some oil into you, right? Because I don't know if y'all realize, but pharmaceuticals contain petroleum, right?
Okay.
So that's one thing that you're doing is getting you a nice dose of oil when you're consuming your medications. And then it's a way for them to control and illegalize certain beneficial plants. So marijuana is illegal, cocaine is illegal, and amphetamines are illegal. Why? Because they've made synthetic versions that they're giving you, right? There's a synthetic THC that they give to cancer patients to help with their appetite, right? And it's also used in other folks. I believe it also may be used with chemotherapy to control the nausea, right?
Okay.
And some of these other, what is Adderall? You've heard what Adderall is. That's basically amphetamine, right? So they've synthesized certain medical plants and then made the plants illegal.
Well, I mean, but you bring up, and that's the thing. Like you bring up marijuana, cannabis plant, and you have the older consumptions of people that can still consume older. They basically rather just do their basic. They don't need all these names and all that chemical touch stuff. They just want their basic, I guess, basic cannabis plant, and they just smoke it.
Well, you also realize that there's a big push for legalization because of the medical benefits. I saw a documentary years ago about the power of CBD. And there was a family that was talking about they had an infant child that was less than a year old that would have over 100 seizures every single day. Right. So they heard about medical cannabis, etc., and they took a trip to Colorado. And they got the kids some of the meds. Long story short, the kid that was going from 100 or more seizures per day went down to 1 to 2 seizures per month. Right? And it wasn't THC, it was CBD. So the plant was grown to have no hallucinogenic effects. It had only the medical benefit. And it was illegal for them to take that home for their child. They couldn't go home with that and get a prescription for it. They were literally considering moving to Colorado for the benefit of their child. You shouldn't have to uproot your life to get medicine for your child. It's not like the infant is going out partying. They're not going to be driving. They're not operating heavy machinery or anything like that. So why keep somebody from saving their child's life just because but there's other stuff on that whole thing too, because there's a long going conspiracy as far as why the hemp plant is been illegalized for all them years anyway, and that got to do with DuPont, because everything that DuPont Textiles makes you can make out of hemp products. You know what I mean? All of those everything you make out of everything DuPont makes could have been done with hemp. From clothing to wood to there's no need for plastic if you have a fiber that is stronger than the man-made stuff.
The man-made stuff,
right? And then it's having no impact to the environment,
right?
Because hemp grows so much faster and so much easier. And it's funny because those wonder plants kind of grow so easily, right? Because you take hemp that can grow anywhere. Guess what else is like another wonder food? But the man then taught us it's something else. Dandelions. Dandelions are free food that could grow literally anywhere, but We call that weeds. Oh, let's spray some chemicals on that.
Yeah, dandelions grow ever. They grow
Right,
ever.
right. George
So
Washington not only grew hemp, but his teeth were hemp.
yeah, the wooden teeth.
Hemp wood, yes, sir.
Okay. They threw me off with the question I was going to ask. Oh, so they basically, the lifestyle change,
Yes.
with the CBN diet. So what about those who just love to go out? How do they eat when they go out to these restaurants?
Well, it's if you want to first off, I'll be honest with you. If you are a person that's concerned with your health, you have to be a little bit more concerned with who's making your food,
Right.
right? So I'm on. Have you ever seen any of those shows like Restaurant Impossible or some of those things where they go in and they help the struggling restaurants
Yeah, I've seen
to get they okay? So I've seen one too many of those shows where they go in the back, they open up the freezer, and they got rotten food, right? The restaurant looks nice on the front. The dining room is nice. The ambiance is fancy. They go into the freezer and they got stuff that they got rats. They got all kind of problems in the back, right?
Right.
What are they putting in my food? My lifestyle is so restrictive that when I go to wash my strawberries, I'm putting those in spring water, key lime juice, and sea salt to remove some of the dirt, the pesticides, etc.
Right.
I'm not sure what they rinsing my food in. They may be using some of that dirty water that was in the back by the catching that condensation. Because let me share something with you, right? I've worked in the grocery industry for a number of years, working with butchers, working with fishmongers and stuff like that, right? And talking to them, hey, what happens if you have an animal, a slab of meat that comes in and it has a tumor on it? You know what they do? They cut around the tumor and they sell the meat to you. So when that nice beautiful fish that they ordered, right? When that order comes in and they got worms all in the belly of the fish hanging out of the gut. You know what they do with that? You think they sending it back? Or you think they taking a loss? You think they taking a loss after they spent that money? They're going to get these little pliers and they're going to pull them worms out, right? Then they're going to cut that fish up and they're going to sell it to you and you're going to put it on your plate. And you're probably going to play a premium for it. I don't know if anybody's ever seen some of those studies they've done where they do DNA tests on the seafood that you consume, right? So you go to these fancy restaurants, you go to these sushi restaurants, and they telling you, "Ooh, this is tuna, this is mahi, this is this, that, and the other." They do the DNA test on it, and you paying hundreds of dollars sometimes for a $10 piece of fish.
No.
So you don't know what you're eating when you going and letting somebody else fix your food. And if I'm a struggling restaurant and I'm spending all of my money on the ambiance and making it look good, I'm gonna do everything I can to cut costs on your meal. Because I'll spend all of my money on keeping the front of the house looking good, right? I'm giving you some tilapia. I'm giving you some sway or swai, however you say that. I don't want none of it. But, if you don't know and they put some good sauce on and nice seasoning, you add a few drinks. Come on, man. You don't know what you're eating.
No,
you don't even know if they wash their hands. We're dealing with COVID right now, right? You're dealing with COVID right now. One thing you're dealing with is you got people that you don't know what their personal hygiene situation is, right?
Correct.
The other part of it is you don't know what their business situation is, because if their business is struggling, what are they trying to do to save that business?
Well,
what are they trying to do to maintain their lifestyle?
Right.
You are the difference, because guess what? If I sell you a $50, if I sell you a $5 plate for $50, then my bottom line look a whole lot better, right?
Well,
if I could sneak some, I remember seeing an episode of Good Times way back in the Gap, and they always saw cat food in this lady's trash, and it was like she don't have no cats. She ain't doing good, but she don't have no cats. And she was cooking dinner one day. They was like, "Ooh, I don't want that meatloaf because I don't know what's in it." You know what I'm saying? So, what's to say that a restaurant won't do the same thing to you?
I mean, that was the episode of Martin the other day when he had the Marty Moss meatloaf and waffles, and Cole said, "We've been ran out of meatloaf."
Right.
Like, you don't know what I'm using back here. But then when you bring that up, it does make sense. And there's all the comments that came up from Ava saying horse meat that you think is beef, the tilapia, all this type of stuff, and you think you're really getting this stuff, and you paid $50, $60 for these plates, and then you said you pull this DNA test and it's not that.
So, but let me throw you the biggest thing that I found real funny once I got off into this lifestyle, right? They always talk about the grand deception. Over the years, everybody's heard of the grand deception, right? You know what I feel is the grand deception?
What's that?
Food. It's food. Because the creator gives us food for free. But this is $1 billion industry.
Right.
If you take some seeds and you got you a good little spot to throw some seeds in some dirt, you know what I'm saying? Say you're praying the Lord gonna bless you with some food right there, right? Mm-hmm. We eat when we're not even hungry, dude. You know what I mean? That's something I realized when I did my first liquid fast. I realized how much I'm not even hungry, and I would normally eat right now. Like I'm not even hungry. Why am I eating? I'm not hungry. But it's because we eat for social reasons. We eat to fit in with our friends. We have a drink and go eat something because they going. You know what I mean? Right. We will celebrate with a meal. Somebody graduated, we're gonna have a barbecue. They got married, let's have a barbecue. Ooh, they died. Where we gonna have the repast? Right. You know what I'm saying? Everything we do is surrounded by food because it's more about this than it is about this. Right. Food is for us to be able to sustain, give us energy, and keep on pushing. So why is it? Oh, I'm sad. He broke up with me. Let's eat a whole gallon of ice cream.
Right.
Let's make myself sick because my feelings got hurt.
It's a mental thing, but as you put it, it's like you said you had some seeds. And I remember growing up, the elders in my neighborhood, they grew their food. And now it's like damn near legal now to grow like in your backyard.
Well, you gotta look at this too, right? It's more than just the food piece. You know what I mean? And they've made their little quotes here and there, but if we're not paying attention, we don't catch that it all fit together, right?
Right.
The family piece is the biggest part of it because families ain't together these days like they was back then either. The villages are not there anymore. You know, when the village was there, you could possibly pull that off. But they've done everything that they could to make you have to drive an hour, 2 hours to go to work. You know what I mean? You outside the house, you're not with the family. Everything that goes on is to keep us all separated and apart. And now they got us in the house.
Well,
we separated. The villages is gone, right? And now we're supposed to be isolated where we at. The village ain't together isolated. The village is all over the place, isolated individually.
Right. But one more question. So now we have this thing about acidic water. Like in your lifestyle, is there a specific type of water you buy, or is it like you make the water yourself as far as like just boiling it and adding your stuff in it as well?
Spring water, God made. Okay. Spring water is the only thing I consume. Like you may see me drinking this little crystal guys I got over here. Any water that I consume, you see I say is alkaline spring water. And then you see on the top of that where it says bottled at the source.
Okay.
If it doesn't say bottled at the source, I don't mess with it. Always bottled at the spring source. If you sit there and you go, some people sit there and say, ooh, alkaline water. Let's hit the alkaline water. The problem with alkaline water is when the alkaline water hits your stomach, it's already to a point where it's basically going to neutralize your stomach acids. And too much of that can lead to alkalosis, where your stomach basically doesn't have enough acid to produce your food. So you can cause yourself some problems like that. Best thing to do is just stick with natural alkaline, not natural spring water, because the other thing is if a water is already alkaline, it's because it's already been processed with some type of chemicals or some type of treatment to make it alkaline. The other thing, when you take in the other bottled waters, you are basically drinking filtered water, filtered municipal water. It's going to say on the bag, filtered municipal source or something of that nature. And then you say and look at the stuff that they put into the waters as well. I like to tell everyone to look at a bottle of Dasani. If you drink Dasani, look at the back of the Dasani bottle, and you're gonna see some ingredients in Dasani. And when you look at those ingredients, I want you to take each one of those ingredients and actually look up potassium chloride and Google lethal injection after you put in potassium chloride. And you'll see what that's for. Ava is absolutely correct. That's Coke's water. Potassium chloride is part of the lethal injection combination and is used to stop the heart. So I'm not sure about you, but I don't want to drink something that could stop my heart, even if it's in trace amounts, just because they feel it'll make it taste a little bit better. No, thank you. I'll stick with my spring water.
Although KCI is quite safe when administered orally, it is lethal at 75 to 150 milligrams. Injection of lethal dose of KCI produces death by cardiac arrest.
Right. I'm good. I'm good. What happens if that plant has a malfunction and they put too much in your water by mistake? And, like the Tylenol thing happened a while back where somebody tampered with it. Right. What happened with that? You drinking a bottle of water and you get took out because you got too much chemicals in it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
The stuff that spring water has been filtered by a natural process going through layers and layers of stone and all that other stuff. God made stuff. I take it. No thank you on everything else.
Well, thank you for joining us. But before you go, this is the process of the show that we call I Be Damned. And this is where people go out on these if you've seen the show already, if Ava showed you this is where people go out on crazy ass dates and they come and tell me these stories, not just retell them.
Right.
And tonight, if it loads like it never does,
right,
it's dealing with sanitary. So, here we go. Good evening, and welcome to another episode of I'll Be Damned. Today's story comes from down in the district, down in DC. So it starts off with saying, so my boo was on his way over. So my boo was on his way over for some much needed extracurricular activities, aka boom chicka wow wow. And it was everything. He knows that I'm very anal, pause, when it comes to after sex cleanup. I'm usually the one to get up and grab the baby wipes for us, but on this particular night, he volunteered to do so. Anyway, my boo gets me. Love me some him. We cleaned ourselves and off to sleep we went. I got up the next morning to get ready for work and went to the bathroom. As I wiped the sleep from my eye, I noticed my container of lemon fresh Lysol wipes sitting on the sink and thought to myself, oh shit, please tell me he did not give me no damn Lysol wipe last night. I went back into my room and secured the trash can for the wipes. Lo and behold, and to my dismay, there were 2 dried out lemon fresh Lysol disinfectant wipes in the trash can. This fool gave me a disinfectant wipe, and I used it on my precious vagina. Wiped his penis with one too. Who in their right mind would put a disinfect wipe on their genitals? Why didn't he just grab that damn baby wipe? Sincerely, a yeast infection. Wow. I'll be damned. See you next week. So yeah, that's what happens. So, it's like, if you in that situation, how do you break that down? I'm like, I don't know how blindly he went and just grabbed some Lysol wipes.
I want to know how they didn't smell it. That's a strong smell on some Lysol wipes over some baby wipes. Baby wipes don't really have a strong smell. I mean, come on, maybe he doesn't have any kids. That's the only thing I can figure out. As an experienced dad, I know the difference between some baby wipes and some Lysol wipes. Yeah, like Ava said, they ain't burn. I mean, hey, she said they went to sleep after that, but I was like, oh, hold on. But like you said, you can smell the difference. Right.
You can smell the difference. So
that's pretty rough on them. I hope they all right.
I don't know, but thank you for coming out and hanging with us for a little bit. You give us your
Hey,
information one more time, and where can they reach you at?
hey man, thank you for having me. You can catch me on YourElectricPlug.com or also on my YouTube channel. I put that back in the chat. I'm also on TikTok. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, you name it, the social, I'm on it already. So look me up, Your Electric Plug on everything.
Okay. But one question. So if
Yeah.
somebody wants to get in contact with you and they feel as though they can't make it, do you sell the stuff to them?
Yes, I do. We have the website. We sell some things online, and pretty soon we're gonna make some food offerings available as well to the local folks. So like sea moss gel. I see some people that ship sea moss gel, but sea moss gel is actually considered a living organism. So you actually shouldn't cap that and ship it. It's something that it needs to kind of breed. So I think that's kind of funny. People sell that and know that because most people typically know that.
And that's what
But
it was, a sea moss gel. That's what was in that thing. What she
yeah,
gave me.
sea
That
moss
was
gel is. I mean, there's no such thing as too much sea moss gel.
okay.
It's high in calcium. It has the other minerals in traces, but it's nothing that is bad for you. I mean, Dr. Sebi would fall to his knees at like 80 years old, like literally jump to his knees, and I mean he would be fine. His knees are fine as a result of sea moss because he consumed a lot of it. Hey, were
Okay.
you here in Houston as well?
Nah,
Okay.
she up here with us in Maryland, but we have a lot of
Oh,
people in the group that watch. They're from, the Dallas, Houston area.
oh, that's what's
Down
up.
there.
Good to know.
We have some
Awesome.
people from New Orleans as well. She from the West Bank? Yeah, they from the West Bank.
Okay, okay. Shout out to Algiers and Marrero, Gretna, all of that.
Yeah, that's where they from. And I went to New Orleans a couple of times, and I still never forgave that IHOP right there on the West Bank. I never forgave it.
Yeah. I also got a shout out to Seven Ward, Ninth Ward, Uptown, everybody, Kenner, everybody, H Town as well. So
Got you.
appreciate y'all having me on. Like I say, I'm on all social, yourelectricplug.com as well, Twitter, everything.
All right.
Feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to help you with what you need. And I'm interactive. If you need, I can do a video on how to make sea moss gel. That's something I have planned as well. I'm actually waiting on the shipment. It should be here Friday from Jamaica. I got
Okay.
some purple Jamaican moss as well as some golden moss, and I'll be making some sea moss gel over the weekend. So I have some of that available to my local folks no later than Saturday or Sunday.
Okay. Well, yeah. Make that video and send it to us, and we'll definitely plug the people that's down in that area. You and in with you.
Appreciate it. And then, like I say, the page. So anytime you feel like plugging the brother, just throw up a video from the page. I got over 200 videos on the page. So if you
Got
haven't taken a minute, you say you're thinking about it, man, go check out my video on how I lost the weight. I think you'll be surprised at how easy it is because I got it laid out for you. It's a simple process. The main thing, man, the main thing I would tell anyone that's watching is determine why you want to make the change because it's something significant. You're gonna have those moments where you're like, oh my God, why am I doing that? I just want a hamburger. And then you
right.
think of shorty, you know what I mean? Whatever that is, if you're thinking, hey, I got a heart problem and I don't want to have surgery, then that's your reason. If you
Right.
got a desktop full of medications that you don't want to take no more, that's your reason. If you got
Right.
a dress that you want to get into, or you got a high school reunion or whatever, but just understand it's a lifestyle change. You know what I mean? Like I say, my 5-year-old was gonna be with a dad that wasn't a full dad because of things that I did. That's not
Right.
right to him. I'm impact his life if I don't make better decisions. So whatever it is, if it's a person, if it's just for yourself, make the decision. That's the biggest part. Once you get a reason why and you make that decision, and you solid. Tell me if you serious and it's really because you tired of gaining, that's your decision. You got your why, make the decision. Once you make the decision, it's nothing but success. If you need some help, go to my YouTube channel. I got recipes to help you out. Reach out to me directly. If anybody has a question or a concern, I'm available. You just got to reach out if you need any guidance. I'm available. I'm always happy to help someone. As you can see, I'm a talkative person, and it's kind of hard to shut me up once you get me on something that I'm passionate about because I realize that I have loved ones that are no longer here
Mm-hmm.
uh, because they didn't know any better on their lifestyle choices. I have a person I went to elementary school with that passed away 2 weeks ago from a stroke. I'm not sure what her lifestyle was like, or if it was something else. But a stroke at 48 years old is no reason for that.
Right.
Because it's simply because of the poor choices that we're making on eating. It's certain diseases that are 100% food driven. And if you have family members that have died of cancer, heart disease, diabetes, stroke, anything like that, you should be as pissed off as I am that they did not have to go if they had known better of what to eat. You know what I mean? Some of your folks would still be here if they knew the right things to eat instead of thinking that the stuff we've been told to eat was okay. Our parents, our grandparents were taught to eat this way, and we believed it. That we didn't have a reason to believe that Big Mama or Mama was giving us food that was killing us. Right. But when we sit there and watch soul food, we watch Big Mama die from soul food, but they at the repast eating the same stuff that killed Big Mama. I mean, you got to learn that what you're doing is wrong at a certain point, and you got to make changes. You know what I mean? And that's the bottom line. You know, you gotta hold yourself accountable because you can't hold people accountable that don't give a damn. You know what I mean? If you hold people accountable around you that you care about. It's funny, like with the whole water bottle thing. They always say you want to choose bottles that are BPA free because of the BPA can leach into the water and cause cancer, etc. And so when I first learned that, I shared that with family members. And I remember my mom came and visited one time, and she had some water that was a different type of water. I said, "Mom, you can't drink this no more because it got BPA in it." She said, "Oh, okay, I won't drink it no more." And then she was like, she won't drink it. So the next time she came by, I saw she had the same kind of water. I looked, I took it out of her car, and I threw it in the trash. I went in my house, and I got some bottles of water, and I gave them to her. I said, "Mom, I don't want to see you drinking that water no more. If I see you drinking water that is in a BPA bottle, I'm going to throw it away." And so I've held to that. Every time I see her with water that's the wrong kind, well, no, I don't have to do that anymore because Mom buys the right kind of water.
Okay.
It's just like I'm just that guy. So in the past, I've had friends that said they wanted to stop smoking. And I said, "Okay, if you want me to help you, I'll help you. But, you know, I'm going to help you." And they said, "Okay, if you see me with a cigarette, take it." So I had a friend one time, they sitting outside of work smoking a cigarette. I walked up to him, took the cigarette, broke it, and I think we off there.
I'm sorry, I kicked Rod out.
Oh, okay. I thought we were off.
That's why I need to stay behind the scenes.
I don't know what the
So yeah, in that little quick story, I had a friend who said they wanted to stop smoking, and we worked together. And so I was in retail at the time. I walked out of the store, and they were sitting there smoking a cigarette. I walked up to them. I took the cigarette out of their mouth, broke it, asked them if they had a pack. They said, "Yeah." I took it from them, broke it, threw it in the trash, asked for the lighter, took it, and left. So I'm gonna hold you accountable. That's the kind of person that I am, right? So if you allow me that, I even offer that as a service. If you need somebody, if you need personal accountability, hey, I'm a lifestyle coach, the whole 9 yards. Whatever you need, if you need it, I got you. If you really want to change the lifestyle, that my whole purpose in doing this is because I'm pissed off that I got loved ones that ain't here no more, and it's because they didn't know better. So I'm a loudmouth, and I decided I'm gonna be that you know, if you got a whole bunch of matches together and then one match get lit, the other ones get lit. I'm trying to light y'all on fire right now, baby. I'm trying to save your life, man. It's all love, all love.
But when you start offering that food package, I definitely want to try this lifestyle gumbo. I love y'all gumbo down in New Orleans, but I definitely want to try this lifestyle gumbo.
So it's obviously not going to be gumbo that okay. So that's something that people have to be prepared for when they go into a different lifestyle, right? So me personally, like people like gumbo, I still eat gumbo. People still like fried foods. I still eat French fries. I still eat chili. I still eat pasta. I still eat all of the same types of stuff I eat. I still eat pizza. I still eat tacos. But my ingredients are different, so the foods are going to taste different, right? So you just have to have you have to be realistic with what you are consuming. So, for example, a replacement for scrambled eggs in the Serbian lifestyle is chickpea flour and water. if you scramble up chickpea flour and water and you make an omelet with it, for example, and you go into that meal expecting it to taste exactly like a regular egg omelet, you're going to say, oh, this is disgusting. I don't want it. This is horrible. This is not a lifestyle for me. But if you go into it realistically and you say, hey, this is chickpea flour and water, and this is supposed to mimic something that I'm used to, and you season it up and you understand what you're eating is not going to taste exactly like it, but it's a substitute, then you go into it with an open mind and you have different success.
Okay. Got you.
You can't go into it saying this is going to taste exactly like chicken. Nah, it's going to taste slightly different. You know, when I instead of eating French fries, when I go and I get some green burro bananas and I cut those up and I either air fry those, bake them, or put them in the oven, or fry them with oil, they're not going to taste exactly like McDonald's French fries.
Right.
But it's enough of a French fry to get past that. I feel like eating French fries, if that makes any sense. Same with tacos, for example. If I feel like eating tacos, I'm gonna make some taco meat from walnuts and mushrooms. I'm gonna season that up really good. I'm gonna have some tortillas that I may make out of kamut flour instead of corn or whole wheat flour or whatever, or white flour. But when I go to consume it, that's tacos for me. I accept that as my tacos. Just like I'm the same guy that sat there and said, I'm not gonna eat the shrimp po' boy no more. This is now a taco for me, and I can accept that.
Gotcha.
It's your mind over. I think Ava said it earlier. It's mind over body. It's mind over everything. Your mind is the only thing that makes you, first of all, and it's the most powerful thing that you have access to. So it's a decision. Your mind is so powerful. It's so powerful. It's unbelievable. But we don't realize the power that we have, and the fact that some of the stuff that they have us consuming is to take some of that power away. That's like the fluoride in the water. It's to take some of that power away. And that's what the other thing that people don't realize. If your mind is not on the level that it's supposed to be on, because you have chemicals in your brain that you shouldn't have, and it's taking away some of the God-given abilities that you have, then you're susceptible because you're unaware. And that's a big part of it too, is people are completely unaware with our abilities and what we really are. And that's a whole different conversation. If you have a show on that one, you can bring me back. That's a whole different conversation.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to get the text message say, "Hey, we need to do this show." Like, all right,
whenever y'all ready to bring me back, whatever topic, I like to talk. Y'all see, I'm gonna roll with it. As long as y'all gonna plug the plug, I'm down. And also,
if you plug it.
If you happen to know anyone on a serious note, if you happen to know anyone that's interested in solar energy, I actually have just partnered with a company, and I'm able to actually, the YourElectricPlug can also help you save money on your electric bill. Imagine that. Imagine that, right? Imagine that. So if you have any interest in solar, you could also hit me up on all of the social. I even put my telephone number in there for anyone that may want to reach out direct. I'll put that in the chat right now. And that goes for the electric plug lifestyle stuff as well. That's my actual personal cell phone. You call it right now, it's gonna ring. And that's on the solar thing. If you just, hey, I really want to change my lifestyle, I need guidance, call me.
Got you. I mean, we can definitely do that, like a quick 20-25 minute thing about solar energy versus, what we got now. If people want to be into it. So we can definitely do that. I know a lot of people right now, they're looking into that, and everybody's looking to save something.
Yeah. And basically on that, the way that works, just to let you know, whatever your average bill is, my goal is to make your monthly payment to get your solar system installed. Your monthly payment will be less than your average electric bill. Okay. And you're gonna pay for that. It's a 25-year agreement to get the system paid for. Everything is guaranteed, parts, labor, workmanship, everything, for 25 years. And then after that 25 years, you have no more electric bill. And the system is designed to stay up for 45 years. So if you are looking to save money, I mean, you know, it's a great and easy way to do it. Like I said, if your monthly bill is $150, for example, your average, I'm gonna get underneath that $150 and I'm gonna get you set up, and you got solar.
Got you.
Simple as that. Simple as that.
But thank you for coming. We can get out of here. Always, man. Thank you. Definitely we'll bring you back on that topic, though. We just got to set it up and put it in the rotation.
Hey, whatever topic, even if it's a topic on just other level stuff, because like I was saying, with the fluoride attacks your pineal gland, which that impacts your connection to the creator and your connection to the higher intellect and the whole 9 yards. So it's a multitude of topics we may need to talk offline and see where I'd fit in, because I'm down to come back.
Okay, well, we'll definitely do that. You know, I understand, Ava, y'all gonna definitely talk, because I know she's into the hemp lifestyle. So we'll definitely be that. But other than that, thank you for coming, man. Thank you. Your electric plug, Robert. Thank you for coming. Make sure y'all check him out. And we definitely gonna get the video of him making the sea moss to show you guys.
I'm gonna get that put together. Like I say, hopefully I'll get my delivery Friday as is expected. I know it got caught in customs in Jamaica extra day or two, but hopefully I'll get that on time, and I hopefully get that video up by the end of next week. So look for it by next Friday, if not before.
All right.
Not this Friday, next Friday.
Next Friday. All right, we'll see y'all next. I don't even know what the hell is next week. See y'all next week. That's all I can say, because I'm not even sure what's next week. I'm behind so much. But I know we did advertise about the Matrix. Sophia Stewart, she's definitely coming on. I apologize. The mother of the Matrix. I apologize. That was me last week. So I apologize. She's definitely coming. The mother of the Matrix is coming. So other than that, we'll see y'all next week with another episode of I Be Damned. Thank you again, your electric plug, Robert. See y'all next week. Be safe. Enjoy your Martin Luther King weekend.
All right.
You can cut it, Daryl.